Hello and welcome everyone to this next episode on ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA sessions. In our last two videos, we've started our scenario to understand the ABAP managed data procedure and seeing how can ABAP managed data procedure can improve your performance. Also, we are exploring can we have an class with both ABAP and AMDP code together. So that's what we've started. You've seen in the last video that it's possible to add a ABAP and also the SQL Script AMDP method together. Now in today's episode, I'll show you writing a AMDP in a dirty way, wherein if you want to simulate a for all entry scenario, possibly you're gonna loop over the table record by record and you're gonna fetch all the sales orders and then you're gonna compute them together and send it to the ABAP layer. So for this scenario, we're gonna do now three major learnings in this scenario. One is we're going to create a CDS table function, which is going to act like a table function. Then we have an AMDP, which is going to call the table functions, which is also going to help you understanding that it's possible to call one AMDP inside another or one TF inside another TF. And then we'll see simulating the scenario with our practical use case where I'm going to get each of the business partners sales orders together and combining them together in a one single load of sales order and send that to the ABAP layer. So let's get started. So I'm going to go back to our system where we created our last scenario. It was about 49 milliseconds it was taking with the pure ABAP using for all entries. We're going to compare all the performance also subsequently. So now I'll switch over to the system and to the same class, I will add two more functions. One is going to be a table function. So to create a table function, first of all, I have to go to the local objects, create a new core data service, CDS. And now I'm going to define this CETS table function, get sales order by business partner, BP. Say next, next. And I will choose table function as the template. And let's quickly give a parameter. So I would like to pass a parameter called sales order ID. Sorry, business partner ID. Let's provide the data type for business partner ID for this particular table function so that we can pass the business partner ID to get sales orders corresponding to that business order. So pass the node key. And now in the output, I define my output structure. So first field is my ABAP client. Next, I'm going to say node key, which is again this key type. So this is going to return all the sales orders. So I pass sales order ID, SNWD, TTL cross sales order ID. Then we say cross amount. Then we just pass similar to this net amount, tax amount, and currency. Let me just put net amount, tax amount, and currency. So let's pass here the net amount, and we'll pass the tax amount, and we'll also pass the currency over here. So SNWD currency code. And now, of course, I will provide here my CDS table function. So let's go ahead and give the class name. And we will also give the table function name, which we will create in a moment. So I will go say get sales order by business partner. That's my table function. Let me save and activate this. Yes, it got activated. Let's go back to the class now and add a table function over here. So class method, and the name was get sales order by business partner. And this is going to give you the list of all the business partners for, list of all the sales orders for the given business partner for table function. And I will provide my table function name here. That's my table function name. As a next step, we will implement this table function. And also I'm going to implement a sales order related ABAP managed data procedure. So I say class method get a sales order for customers, and this is an AMDP I'm going to implement, but this is a dirty way. Yeah, so I just put it dirty. Yeah, so that you will know that, okay, this is not a good way. And we'll also observe the performance in this case, how the performance is going to be. So let's put exporting, return a value out, ed sales orders. And this is going to be of type. I've already created a table type to return the sales order list out. So I've defined now my AMDP functions. Yeah, both of these. Okay, there is a mismatch in the name. So get SO by BP TF, we can call it as maybe. And I also put here TF to my AMD table function. Let's go back. Now this is what I will implement now, both of these. So one is a table function and one is a AMDP. So now I will just go back and provide an implementation for this. So let's go ahead and write this method implementation over here. And this one is a table function. So we have to mention that carefully to the database so the database can treat this as a table function. So let's go ahead and define this table function. So I would say by database function for HDB language SQL Script, options read only, and I will be using SNWD sales order table inside and method. Yeah. And let's write the code. It's pretty simple. We just return the same fields out as per the skeleton we defined in the table function. Select client, node key, sales order ID, gross amount, net amount, tax amount, currency code from sales order table where buyer ID is equals to my import parameter, which we have given here in the table function. And that's what we are returning out. Nice. Let's add our second function, which is in AMDP. And I'll say method AMDP by database procedure for HDB language SQL Script. Options read only for this also. And I will be saying using. And this time I will be using maybe a table SNWD PPA because all the business partners and method. So that's our table. Okay, there's a problem in table function. It says return parameter mismatch, currency code. What did we give here? We just give currency, sorry. It's gonna be currency code. Let's update that. You all can download the source code from the link in the description of this video. So you can also try out this scenario in your own system. These tables will be there in your system also. It's there in all S4HANA systems, these tables. So now what we do is we will write this AMDP. So this AMDP now what I'll show you is first use case calling an AMDP with another AMDP or another table function. So watch out, this is our table function name. So you have to go and copy the class name, come down here and just put that arrow and use table function name. If you want to use one AMDP or table function in another, that's how you have to add it in the using clause. So that's another question which you all had in the past. Is it possible? So you see now we've learned two things by far, that we can use an ABAP code inside same class with a SQL script. Yes. And we can call one table function or AMDP in another table function in AMDP using this using clause. We must mention that in the using clause. And now I'll write the SQL script code inside. So I declare two variables. Declare LVRC of type integer. Then I'll declare LV business partner ID of type nvarchar 40. I just wanted to make sure that I give it. Yeah, that's okay. And now next step is I will now do the same thing what we can do in ABAP. So we first populate an internal table, loop over internal table, and for every record fetch the corresponding sales order from sales order table. So watch out. That's why I call it as dirty way of writing in AMDP. So let's write business partner equals to, and I will first select all the business partner node key, business partner ID from SNWDBPA, where BP role is equals to 0, 1. We just do that first step. As the next step, I will now go into loop over it. So I say for LVRC, my loop counter in record count the number of records in this BPA with column and do and for. And I will say LVBPID equals to, and I will just get now the business partner ID, the very first record from my table, LTBPA. So use this and I'll say get me the first record or the loop counter record. So in every loop pass, you keep getting the BPID, and now corresponding to this BPID, you keep getting the sales orders. So let's get the sales orders loaded. Select start from, and to do this now, I will call this this table function. So let's grab this table function and make sure you write in capital letter. I think small letter also will work. Yeah. And now we just pass in this business partner ID as a parameter there. So let's pass our business partner ID there. So I will just go back, control space, doesn't work. Okay, no problem. It's called IBPID. I'll pass that. And in this IBPID, I will pass my BPID, which I grab it from here. Now, of course, I have to, I think, write in capital letter. So let me just do that. Insert ZCL ATS AMDP scenario get SO by BPTF. Okay, nice. So basically, this is very similar to ABAP programming. In ABAP programming, you first get an internal table, you loop over internal table, and you get correspondingly for each record of internal table data from another table. So that's exactly what we are doing here in this example. Now I will assign to my output, and I will say my output is going to be ET sales order, whatever I've created as export in this. Yeah, ET sales order. It's going to be a union of my data. Select star from LT sales orders, union all, select star from this ET sales order itself. So in every loop pass now, I'm just looping over, and then I'm just going ahead and getting this data. Okay, I think I'm missing the node key here. That's my BPID actually. Save this up. Let's activate. It's time that we go back and test this in action. So I've activated now. So this is why I call it as dirty way. This is very similar to what you do in ABAP programming. If you have an internal table, you loop over internal table. For each record, you get the corresponding sales order from database. Let's see the performance of this, however, since it's in SQL script. So I'll go back to our report and comment out this code and write the new code. So call my class and get sales order by MDP dirty. And let's see this dirty one, what it says. LT SO. Just save it, activate. So last time for the first scenario with for all entries in ABAP, we were getting 49 milliseconds of time. Let's see for this scenario how much time it's gonna take. Yeah. So this way we will also be able to judge how faster does the AMDP, though being loop and all, how faster would that be? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to judge. So let's go back and I press F8 and we can see it's taking 254 millisecond, which is definitely bad as compared to what you were doing even in ABAP. Now, some of you may say, oh my God, I did an AMDP, but you see it is rather improving performance. It's deteriorating my performance actually, right? So with AMDP, with the loop, it's of course not going to reward you just because you're writing SQL script. So many of us may think that, okay, just by writing an AMDP, we get better performance. That's not right because AMDP is also code. It depends on how you write your code. So in this scenario, very much apparent that even writing an AMDP doesn't improve your performance just by writing an AMDP. So this is really bad, yeah, for our performance. So how can we improve the performance? That's our main goal, which is what we're going to see in the next episode. So we will learn how to give the power booster to the AMDP to improve the performance of a web managed data procedure. With that, I hope you're enjoying this scenario. With that is a wrap on this session. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next episode. Have a nice day. Goodbye.